Alright, you guys, welcome back to another match play. It's going to be game 2 of the top 8 match between Arcanine and Dusknoir. If you saw there, I flashed the Spirit Tomb that I started in jokes to the game 1 where Grady started the lone Spirit Tomb on his side and got donked. So if you haven't checked out that game, check it out already. If not, welcome to game 2. Or if you have already checked it, welcome to game 2. And this is going, I'll actually talk about the strategy of this matchup. So, Dusknoir is obviously going to want to do Dusknoir things, right? It's going to want to spread damage, de-evolve, move some stuff over, take important knockouts when the important knockouts are going to need to happen. However, Arcanine is just going to try to outspeed it, right? The really big weakness for Dusknoir is that it doesn't really come online until, turn 4 or 5, when it gets a lot of energies on the field, and it's able to get that rare candy into Dusknoir, or the breeder into Dusknoir, and start actually doing things, So it takes a little bit of time to get online, and that's one of the things that Arcanine can really take advantage of. It can just go faster, and that sort of thing, if that makes sense. So, but anyways, go for a confusion flip here. And Grady's gonna get a bill. And he discarded the energy. I was like, what are you doing? But didn't matter anyways because of the oak. Pretty decent start here because of the confusion. Spin is not the best starter in the world. It can spread 10 to everything. But I think Grady here is actually going to... He looks like he's debating dowsing machining for the oak. Because he needs a Pokemon. But he has the item finder and the dowsing machine there, so... and he still misses a Pokemon, actually. Unfortunately. Looks like he's got a Rescue Stretcher, maybe? Oh, he's got a Super Rod. So we go ahead and use his Warp Point to get me out, Super Rod to shuffle some stuff back in, and then Copycat for a supporter. He has the BTS, so if he can get that Porygon back out, he's fine for a second supporter, but it looks like he just whiffed. I saw a couple energies in there. He definitely want to gets the fire energies out so that Power Heater can actually deal some stuff, and then just ditch a useless card in this matchup, which was Ranger. But yeah, that's 4 energies in that hand. That is a Burning Energy, a Double Rainbow, and 2 Fires. And Grady decides to pass, and he doesn't want to try to flip for the Confusion Flip, so I'll have an opportunity to kind of get set up here. Or at least a little bit more set up. This will be Baltoy, definitely the Coco, and maybe the Duskull here. Maybe I just say, hey, look, if I get a lot of damage onto this Volcanion, I'll be able to start spreading. There's an Oak. We'll see if I can get this Porygon out of the active, and there's the Floatstone. No evolution. Well, there's the item finder, so it might just be an item finder for the Oak again. See if I can find the evolution, which will be a Lux Ball. We are now digging. This probably is going to be Porygon 2. Yep. Because it looks like I have another supporter in that hand of mine. Ultra Ball, so I'm also going to have the Claydol here. So really, really good turn 2. Grady's confused. I'm going to do 20 damage with the Coco. That is one problem with Dusknoir, though, is if your opponent limits their bench, your damage is just not as effective. So that's why the deck plays stuff like Target Whistle and Pokepuff and that sort of thing. Grady does draw the Porygon, but does he bench it because of... he doesn't want to bench it because of Dusknoir and spreading the 20 damage and all that fun stuff. So Grady just draws, attaches, and passes. Very uncommon for U150, but he did have kind of a grubby start with the Copycat for 5 with no support Pokemon into 4 energies. So you're going to lose more games than you're going to win there. So now at this point it's okay, what do I actually do? Because I am so far ahead that it's a little bit weird, right? But the Turmoil Strike's the only really big heavy hitter in the deck, so we go for the Turmoil Strike here just so that I can hopefully knock him out in 2 turns, get a Muscle Band going, or at least a damage somewhere. Put him in just in really scary positions. Looks like I'm considering Rescue Stretching for that Spirit Tomb to put 10 damage on him, which would put him down to 80 HP. And the reason that's so significant is because then Meowth can knock him out again, but looks like I decided not to go for that. Instead, we Claydol into the Duskull. There's a Windstorm on his important stuff, and the Dowsing Machine probably for Oak. I'd imagine. Yep, just going to burn through this deck of mine, and there's the Hex and then the Oak. So, Grady just not having a good time here. Misty's Wrath, like, it's just, at this point, it's all Alex here, and I think I took a Pokepuff. Looks like I did take a Pokepuff, and so he's got the, yeah, he shows me 3 cards and nothing. And I'm cool with me putting down the Porygon so I can knock him out next turn. And then, like I said, I downloaded Hex, so I'm able to play the Juniper as a second supporter. And here's me doing 60 damage to his active, and Grady draws, what do you know, a Porygon 2. That is kind of funny, however, the damage just will be moved on over. There is no doubt about it. I think he's just determining whether he wants to attach and try to knock me out. Grady's trying to figure out, can he win next turn if I deal 30 to myself? Because if he flips Tails here, he goes down to 90. I can't win next turn, but if he hits Tails, if he hit Tails there, he would have knocked himself out because of the Frozen City. Totally forgot about that. But Evo Soda into Dusknoir, so maybe we can win somehow. I think I'm trying to determine. Yeah, so I'm just in my head and saying, look, I need to do 50 to the active. If I can get a couple Fortress drops, that's one of those options there. Looks like I might be considering just hexing him again and just taking the safe route. Marley's request for Junk Arm Dowsing Machine doesn't really matter. So it looks like I'll save those 2. Should I Pokeflute him to do more damage? Don't really look like it is. There's just a Hex here, and looks like I will Turmoil Strike the active so that he can't try to flip again. Going to be a top deck into it's like a double rainbow. Nope, doesn't take damage. Oh, it takes damage with the Frozen City. And then the Rosies is actually going to save him, so he goes into Spirit Tomb, and I told him that he should go into, that he could consider going into Uxie. Because the reason is, like, I'm just going to take the knockout on the Claydol, right? I'm going to move 30 damage over there and Turmoil Strike it, and he's item locked now. But Mallow might just win me the game here. Maybe the Fortress is enough damage. Would the Fortress put me in enough range to knock out both Pokemon is the question. Gives me 30 more damage? No, it does not. So I need Fortress and then a way to reuse Fortress. Is the only way that I could keep it going. So, I mean, this game is just all but over. Grady's in top deck mode. I'm going to take the Claydol here. I'll move the damage over and then Claydol him. So, it looks like I'm actually thinking about a Guzma on the top of that deck. Just to get out of the item lock. But I do have a Lysander as well, so maybe I wanted a Guzma to get off the active. See, if we're going into here, it looks like we might be taking a double knockout, perhaps. So considering this item finder now, this might be for like a muscle band. Yeah, it actually will be probably for a muscle band. Oh, no, Versus Seeker. Let's see. For the Hex again? Nope, we're trump carding. So I have 60 damage to play with. We're definitely going to put... So 30. Oh, there's a Porygon Z play, actually. Takes double knockout onto those and puts him into range. And yeah, he just says, I concede because I'll come down and Meowth it. So, not a really interesting game there either. Just a quick game. Grady copycatted into nothing, and Dusknoir just did Dusknoir things. So on to game 3.